Hello, everybody. Kevin Monroe here with you. We're going to talk a little bit about some specific grains here and a couple of mixes that I have. I've I'll just start off by talking about what they are, where they came from. This mix over here, this is a 13% mix. It's got a lot of small seeds, and it's got the trapper peas, also known as Canadian peas, and got some Milo. Uh, I guess this is some rapeseed. I'm not really sure what these little black triangular seeds are, but it's a 13% mix, okay? 13% protein. And then we got some red wheat here. This is from Des Moines Feed. My friend Brad Stuckey got me this grain here. He got me this mix here from Des Moines, and he got me this here. This is barley, and this is the barley I got from Des Moines Feed. My buddy Brad got it for me. And this is some wheat, typical wheat you get from the feed stores. It's a really poor quality of wheat. Around here we call it just feed wheat. I guess others might call it a white wheat or something to that effect, but it's just feed wheat to us, and the wheat we've always been able to get locally. And wheat usually goes around, I don't know, 12%, like that red. This is hard red wheat, and it comes from the upper northern part of the country, and they grow a lot cleaner and better quality wheat up that way. And then this here is probably locally grown, and they feed a lot of this to the cows and use it to do their mixes and stuff for chickens and things like that. So this feed right here, this is a Versalaga feed, and it's 15% protein. And I got this given to me by a friend of mine, and he brought me this bag to try out. So I'm gonna give it a go. I really like it. It's real clean looking. It's got the trapper peas, the maple peas, and Australian peas, a little green one there. It's heavy peas. You can see it, a lot heavier than what that is at 13%. This has got some oil seeds, I guess, with the canary seeds in it. But if I'm going to feed a moat feed, I'd want a lot more sunflower and safflower in it, So the moat's coming around the corner, usually the hot parts of the month, and then you'll be feeding a lot heavier with the oil seeds, to help them get on through the moat. But right now, I'm trying to get a little bit of the winter fat off of them and get them whipped into shape. Got a couple of competitions coming up. Got one state fly coming up in about a month. And so I'm doing different things with the feed, and I just wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about it tonight, since I had them all out here and getting things straightened up. And so this is the stuff that I'm using. I'm trying this barley out. I don't normally use it. George Mason, I talked to him at the 2019 convention, and he really likes it. And old timers that I talk to a lot, they seem to think that it plays a good part of it. I never have used it. Not, here or there I've tried it, and I never really stuck with it, but I'm giving it a go again, and just to see if it's something I may have missed, So right now what I'm feeding is I'm feeding on my old birds that I'm flying. I'm just feeding them one day of this Des Moines feed at 13%. And that's the day they fly on. And then I'm resting them a day, and then I'm feeding on the red wheat straight, and probably a little more, about a tablespoon and a half on each one of these, because I got them a little bit light, cutting them back using this barley. And so right now I'm good. Okay, so on the fly day I'm using this, and at about a tablespoon and a half per bird, just guesstimating, trying to give y'all a measure. And then the red wheat the next day, and it's a rest day. And then the following day I'm feeding them this right here, and I've done that for about 3 sets, so 9 days I've done that right there in that order. And this stuff right here seems to really take the weight off of them in a hurry. And if they leave any of this right here, them birds are too fat, because if they're eating all of this right here, they're hungry, because they do not like this. And it's kind of like these white peas right here. That's always the last pea that they're going to eat. But so that's what I've been doing the last 9 days, and the result of that has been I've got the fly height down, but it has been really cloudy lately. But the fly height is down, the fly time is down a little bit, and I've really cut the weight off of them. I'm getting a lot of good action out of them early on, and then they kind of deteriorate in performance and kit sensitivity. So, breaking them down wise, I think I've done pretty good, but now I'm going to have to change things up and try to get the quality of the performance back in them, with the feed can as much as I can. And to do so, I got to raise the protein up and build them back up and get that crisp spin out of them. This what I've done here is tore them down, which I needed to do some. And so I've accomplished that. And so I'm going to move back. I'm going to do something like I'm going to go up and I'm going to try this Versalaga feed out. It's all trial and error right now. I'm just seeing what effects it has on my birds. And this is a good, clean feed, and I'm going to give it a go and, see what it does. And I'm going to cut this with some of this hard red wheat right here for probably I'm going to go 50-50 on it and start flying them every other day and cut them back a little bit on the non-fly day. And I'm going to do that for about a week, and then I'll let y'all know what the effect of it is. See if, I'm pretty sure it's going to sharpen them up, tighten them up, and get them a little bit more on the same page. They're just, they're needing some fly time on them, after a long lockdown. But I've had a couple of months now. I guess I started March the 1st, so a couple of months now. And they're looking better, coming together. I just need to, do my part and find the right combination of the feed and so anyway, I just want to point the feeds out to y'all I'm using and experimenting with. It's always an experiment with me. What works one time is not going to work the next time for me. It's how it usually works, but it'll get you pretty close, at least close enough, you can play around with it and get you a regiment, going into a fly that you like to do, whether it be breaking them down and building them up, coming into a fly, or having them built up and breaking them down toward the end of the fly. My friend Ken Easley used to like to build them up and then at the end break them down a little bit going into the fly. I've always did the reverse of that and have them broke down coming into the fly and then boost them into the protein toward the end. So we'll talk more about that later. But as for right now, let me go real briefly back over this stuff. And so say I have a base feed and I'm feeding, say 50% of this, and that's my mix. That's my primary mix, And I'm gonna start out with just calling this, any of my mixes I call my meat and potatoes. Okay, and if I mix some of that in with it, that's still my meat and potatoes. So if my birds come out and they're flying real low and they're feeling good as far as their weight is, but they're flying low and they're not lifting for me, and they're landing a little bit early. And I want a little more fly time out of them. The weather's getting a little bit warmer, so I'm definitely going to cut back a little bit on this, the meat and potatoes, and then I'm going to add some Milo to it. Milo, for me, adding Milo to my mixes helps my birds lift and fly for longer, and cutting back on the wheat. That wheat right there will, if your birds are flying too high, you add a little bit more of the wheat, and I call this my breaks. The wheat's my breaks, the Milo's my gas, and my mixes I call my meat and potatoes. And that's the way I kind of look at it. Just for anybody that don't know me, that's the way I look at the feeds. Now, this barley right here, I kind of look at that like Brussels sprouts. It's one of my worst things I hate to eat. But it's good for me. But I'm not real sure about using this barley. I got one bag of it, and I'm gonna play around with it I wouldn't recommend this kind of wheat to anybody, really, for any reason, unless you just didn't have no better wheat around. But it's the feed store wheat. They call it feed wheat, and it's what they've always had around this area. This Des Moines feed is a high quality, shiny feed. It just don't have a whole lot of peas in it, and a bunch of small grains. It'd be great for a trapping seed. Maybe to feed solo by itself. I haven't tried it solo by itself, solely for like feeding it for a week or so and then flying them on it. I haven't done that. I might play with it a little bit. But anyway, that's just some of the grains and how I use them and just where I'm at today. This is May the 12th. 2021, and I'm getting ready for a fly. It'll be here in exactly 1 month from today. We're having our Texas State Championship fly. And just wanted to talk a little feed tonight. Hope everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to y'all on the next episode. Have a good evening. Bye.